Happy Friday! Tis another wonderful, beautiful Friday out in the world, and I hope you are doing well. Today, I know you guys were waiting for it. Today, I thought it would be really fun, and I did promise this a couple times, so I feel like I just need to do this one. Like, it's kind of simple and quick, but it needs to be done, so that way you guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about making your own paper sport collage. And what I thought would be really great is if I use supplies from the Dollar Tree. Because I understand, like, I have been there as a beginning artist or trying to find a new hobby or whatever, and you don't want to pool a ton of money. And in this economy, and even at the Dollar Tree, stuff is expensive, you know, and money is not growing on trees or falling from the sky, unfortunately. So I have compiled a pile of stuff that we gathered from the Dollar Tree yesterday for us to make papers for collage. And I just so happen to have the longest ream of like brown paper from packaging from my kitty litter, if you believe that. Like, we order cat litter from this company called Pretty Litter, and they reuse their boxes, which I love. So they have like the box that has 4 bags, but we only get 2, and then they put in a ton of brown craft paper, which is fully recyclable. But I really love it. Brown paper bags, thin ones, or this brown craft paper that you get, or my other favorite is, as I fall out of my chair, is newsprint. So those are my favorite things to make papers out of. Lots of people use copy paper. I'll use some of that just to show you guys the difference. But that's kind of like, that's part of the joy of ordering stuff online, is that there's always some kind of packaging to come with it, right? So, and you've got to do something with it. Good for the planet. So I'm going to go over everything that is in this bag. That's a totally different project. And we shall go from there. So sit tight. Let's get to it. I bought some glitter glue, which, and these are just little pens of glue with glitter in them. This is really the only kind of glitter I really like, is because it's already contained in something. I truly hate glitter because my sister sends packages every year for Christmas that has some kind of glitter on the tag or on the bow or whatever, and then it's like a glitter explosion. I will take confetti in a car that explodes any day over glitter. The glitter's just the worst. But I do like these little glitter glues. I wish there was some other colors, but I think overall, for what we're doing today, I think that's good. Next is an apron. Dollar store apron. We've got to have something to protect our clothes. Even though I usually wear art stained clothes anyway, paint stained clothes. This is one of my favorite shirts, actually. It says Mama underneath the rainbow, weird rainbow. But I love this shirt, and I painted it in a couple years ago, so now it has paint on it. So it's now an art shirt. But I want to kind of try to protect what's left of it, so got that. Let's see. These are some multi-purpose cleaning cloths that I found. I liked the texture of them, so I thought if nothing else I could use it as like a paintbrush almost. Speaking of paintbrushes, got some just kids chunky brushes. And like, these are probably plastic bristles, which isn't the greatest, but we're gonna work with it because this is a dollar store thing. I also got some of these little cups of paint. We're actually going to water this down so it's not quite so chunky and thick. But let me just say, if you buy these to paint something, you're going to be disappointed. Just buy tubes of paint. Some watercolors, cheapy watercolors from the Dollar Tree as well, because watercolors can be fun. Now, I'm trying to remember if I've ever really used water. I really don't use watercolor on papers, but you can, so we will do that soon. Oh, this is for me, not you. It's a little rainbow washi tape, which I thought was so cute. So that's for me. I did get a bunch of paint. So I just picked kind of the colors that I liked of what they had. So we've got a couple different purples. And it's Crayola washable paint. We've got violet and fuchsia. We've got a turquoise, as of course we do. We've got red. We've got white to kind of lighten them and to mix them. And on brown paper, white looks great. And we also got a green. So those are the supplies we got. The things that I already have are the papers. But you can actually buy a roll of brown craft paper for shipping and stuff at the Dollar Tree. So, see, I shared that. And a couple paper plates or plastic, like a deep plastic takeout dish or something. That would be great to mix your paints in, because you need something that has a lip, because they are going to get wet, like very watery paints. And then, so you don't want it to just be a flat, and plus you need like a big space. So we're gonna use a big space with that. And let's see, what else? Anything else that I'm not thinking of? Gotta have some water. Gotta stay hydrated. So there's that. You can bring a squirt bottle of water. Oh, and I do have a cup of water. Has a little bit of watercolor in it, but I don't really care because this is art and this is paper making. So yay, I'm so excited. Okay, truth be told, I've not made paper in quite a while, because if you have followed along with any of the collage, you know I have a big bin of paper, and that's probably not all of it either. Oh, look at that hair somewhere by my nose. Okay. Shoot, I gotta open all of these. Alright, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna open everything, and then we're gonna get to it. So, sit tight. Okay. Whoops. Okay, so, I got everything open. Y'all will laugh. This is my apron. It doesn't say anything about how big, the size, whatever. I thought it was a young man, like 1920 on the thing. This is my apron. It's my teeny little baby-sized apron. And, you know, straps that don't go fully around. So we're gonna skip that all together. So Daddy now has a new apron. That's fine. These brushes are like, just the feel of them are so terrible. I may have to not use these. I'm gonna use them, but maybe not forever, not for long. I don't know. These are really terrible. They're plastic. Like paintbrushes that are plastic, like these belong in the trash. Recycle. It's recycle. It's okay. Because they are by far the worst thing known to man. I always recommend actual hair brushes. I feel like that's what most people would use. I will say that you could use like cheap chip brushes. You can get those from the Dollar Tree, I think, as well. So I didn't see, or granted, I went down the art supply aisle. Anyway, and then the little fabric things comes in two, and I actually just cut a chunk off of it, and then cut those into little squares. So that's those. These are these. That's that. All right. I think we're ready to get started. All right. Because I have limited workspace, I'm gonna have to just move everything over. I've got batteries and X-Acto knives and got microphones because I have to have a microphone. Glue over there. Got that there. I'm working on it. Oh, the other thing I will say that you should have is somewhere to dry your paper. So I use big sheets of cardboard that I've painted on or spray painted or whatever you use it for. That's what I have used for years. I used to actually, my studio used to be in our one-car enclosed garage. So I will say I had space, but I shared the space with, bugs and spiders, and it didn't have AC or heat, so it was bloody hot in the summer, which I never would art down there because it was just too hot. And then it was cold in the winter, but I did have a little heater, so that was nice. Don't mind him. He's mad. Anyway, so I had space to kind of spread out and put my cardboard sheets on top of stuff, like on top of bins and whatever. Here, it's a very small, tight room. It's not ideal, but it's my space, and I'm thankful that I have it. Though making papers, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's gonna be a little bit difficult. So I'm actually gonna cut this sheet in half. And it doesn't matter what it looks like. It can be higgledy-piggledy. It's fine. I'm gonna set the piece aside. And then, also you can use an old credit card, library card that no longer go there, or whatever, or gift card. I have a Starbucks gift card from Halloween that I use to spread paint.
All right, so I don't really have a whole way of this must be done this way. It's truly, as I say with my hands on video, it's truly whatever makes you happy. However you want to put the paint on paper is perfectly fine. You want to dip your fingers in it and smear it around, go for it. Like, literally, you're gonna cut this paper up later and glue it into or onto other pieces of paper, so whatever you want to do, however you want to make that is perfectly fine. I will say this paint is a little bit, it's kind of a lot of it opaque, which is probably why it's so cheap, is because it's just so transparent, which I don't hate it. I also am kind of like, I typically go for darker, thicker paint, but I do like the way it winds up looking at the end. Alright, so more of the same, just to use up that bit of paint that I still had. Trying to kind of get it to look a little bit different than what I had, so that way they're not identical. The upside about doing this project and making paper like this is that no two are going to be the same. So even if you want them to be, so you have to let that kind of happen and let go of the control factor so many of us live with, especially as artists. Like, everybody seems like, so many artists seem to be like control freaks because we just want things to look a certain way. I'm not really one of those people as much, maybe. I try not to make it such an issue. I do get mad when things don't look right, but you can only do what you can do, and this is, these are art supplies, so you gotta be a little easy with yourself. So now we've
Prettiest, weird. Like, this is probably one of my most favorite pieces. Like, this was just a backing paper on my desk, so that way it wouldn't get paint everywhere, because I was very limited in the garage with my desk space and like where I could actually work and make stuff. So I used a big sheet of paper on top of my desk, and I just put my papers on that and then paint it. And so this all came very naturally. So I used it, it's brown paper, so I used it as the cover for my hand-bound sketchbook. So this is fabulous. Definitely one of my favorite pieces. Alright, let's see. So this, I'll put it on like that.
Alright, as we were. So, I'm getting that little towel thing that I told you about with the texture. The texture really doesn't show up on crinkled paper, but I do think that it adds a little something. You could do it like this with a paper towel, or a plastic bag is great. If you have an uncrinkled piece of paper, that could have been really great if I had done it like that. Looking back, I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't do it like that and then I crumpled all the paper first, but I'm just going with it. And it looks fine, and I'm happy with it, so that's all that matters. So I'm blobbing blue and white. Really felt like I needed another color. Like, I don't know. Purple would have been cool in this. What do we wind up doing? We'll put some more blue. I have a thing for purple, as you may or may not know. Oh, there we go. Oh, we're getting there. Yep, we're getting there. We're doing the purple. And we still have some white left on that plate. I actually almost put the purple on that white blob because I didn't see it. I didn't have my glasses on. Good Lord. It's a sad, sad state of affairs when you can't see a white blob of paint on a white plate. But there we go. Now we're in it. Now we're blobbing all the while. All these papers are now dry, and I've had the opportunity to touch them and to feel them. This paint is not my favorite. It very much feels like tempera paint. So it would not surprise me if this is just Crayola's brand of tempera paint. Tempera, if you remember right, back in days of yore, they used to use tempera paint in classrooms. There's lots of places that still use tempera paint. Some of the paint and sip places use it for their canvas paintings. I used to work for a place that used tempera paint, and the smell is very idyllic. It's like that memory smell. It's like, what is that? It's kind of like the ice cream in the cups with the wooden spatula thing that we'd eat as kids. Remember in days of yore? And that smell of that ice cream is very, it's just very specific to that item. And so I think that tempera paint is also very specific smell to that. So yeah, I believe that this is tempera, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's just, I don't like the feel of it. And it kind of does flake if you lay it on too thick. So it'll be interesting to see if I get flaking when I use these. I will keep you all posted when that happens. All right, what do we got now? All right, so we're doing copy paper now with these terrible brushes. These brushes make my skin crawl, I'm not gonna lie. It's god-awful. Like, just truly the worst texture and sound on the planet. It's kind of like, for me, it's like, I enjoy the texture of it, but the feel and the sound is just terrible. It's like nails on a chalkboard, or my big nails on a chalkboard is not nails on a chalkboard. It's the scraping of frozen food in a freezer. Like, we have a deep freezer in our enclosed garage. And my husband's always like, well, I didn't lay anything out for dinner, like today, or yesterday, he didn't lay anything out for dinner. So I was like, okay, I'll go. He's like, there's plenty of stuff in the freezer, which there is, but I can only dig so far because, the sound, oh Lord, it's so bad. Like that scraping frozen food sound. If I'm at the grocery store and things are scraping too far, it's just like, nope, I can't. It just, it's terrible. You guys are learning a lot about me today. So here we are, painting with plastic. It's awesome. I will say, I do very much like the texture that I got from this. I have this paper right here. Yeah, the bristle textures are very cool, and you can see them on almost every little blob because they're terrible. So I wouldn't say, I don't know, that I definitely wouldn't say I enjoyed this process, but I like the texture. So that'll be my positiveness, my positivity for this little piece of art and these horrific brushes that they make children use. All right, so I am bringing in some supplies that I have, some to show you, and then this yellow bottle of paint, which was only probably $1.50, maybe even cheaper, $1.29 at Michael's or Walmart or maybe even Hobby Lobby. I can't remember. I've bought cheap paint for so long from so many places that I forget where I bought it all. But this is to the point that I needed some yellow. They didn't have any yellow in this paint at the dollar store, and I didn't get any of their bigger bottles of paint because I just didn't want to buy any more cheap, crappy paint. So I'm using what I have here, just because I didn't have yellow, and I really wanted some yellow in this. So that's where we have gotten the yellow blob of paint from, and why. So I'm gonna do some more big blobs, less little blobs. Do fat blobs. You can do squiggly blobs. You can do whatever. There's really, I hate the fact that there are so many people out there. My husband is one of them who was told as a child that his artwork sucked and that, you know, there was no point because it was so terrible. Or that he was doing it wrong, or, you know, they didn't get it. And so many artists, and like every single artist that's well known, have been told that before. The only difference is that some people keep going because it's in their blood, and if they stop creating art, they'll die. Like, I mean, it sounds tragic and over the top and, you know, so ridiculous, but it's true. Like, there's something ingrained in people who continue to create, even though we're told, you know, we're not talented, you know, we're too stupid to make art, or, you know, we're doing it the wrong way. Natty has actually she had an art teacher tell her that Scribble Scrabble was not art. And it's like, you know, Picasso and Jackson Pollock would disagree, but, you know, whatever. Okay, but it's just like, you know, if that's how she wants to make art, then leave her alone. It doesn't need to look exactly like what you're teaching, which I love the fact that they taught some of the greats and some of the unknowns. Like, there was lots of artwork hanging in her school of artists where they had to draw or create a picture that looked like that artist had made it, right? So they use that style. And I appreciate that because, like, you know, lots of kids are still looking for their style, but to tell a 5-year-old in kindergarten that Scribble Scrabble is not art, it's just such a horrible thing to tell a child. And like I said, I had my own fair share of teachers and educators tell me that my art wasn't any good either. I had an English teacher actually in 7th grade. We had to read, what was it? What's the book? With Pony Boy. I'm blanking, and I know the book. Oh, for the love of Pete. I'm Googling it. The Outsiders. Right, okay. So we had to read The Outsiders and then write a report, and then we had to draw a picture of one of our favorite characters. And I think mine was Pony Boy, actually. Like I kind of got it. And so the picture that I drew had a lot of cross-hatching on it, and she called it scribbling. And then she graded my picture, my drawing, and said that wasn't the way to do shading. This isn't the way to draw an art piece or to draw a person or this, that, and the other, and just ripped me down the side. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, A, you're an English teacher. Like, you shouldn't even be commenting on anybody else's art. Like, if you made a picture to go with it, just accept it. So that was really upsetting because I thought that was one of my better pieces. And then, like, people have just always been difficult for me. So, and as an adult, I've kind of just gotten finally comfortable in my own skin with how I draw. Like, it's very stylized. If you go to my website, you'll see it. JulianaAddisonArt.com. I haven't updated it in a couple of years. We have 2 more cats than I've talked about on there. But at any rate, like, you know, it's very stylized and it's fun and it's me, it's who I am. So you kind of have to get past that. So all that to say, where was I going with this? Oh, paint your papers however the hell you want. Like, just make them, you know, you could paint rainbows all over them or paint them all one solid color with a big brush, you know, that you use for painting your walls. Like, it's totally fine. Whatever you want to do, just do that and have fun. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. Having fun with art. That's the point. Have fun. right, more brown paper. What will she make now? What's she doing? What's she doing? What's she doing? She's babbling to the other camera about something. Oh, here we go. Okay, I think this last page was just to use up the paint that I had. I don't like wasting paint. I will be perfectly honest. I know it's cheap, but it bothers me immensely when I have paint sitting on a paint palette that I can't put anywhere, that I can't put into a container or find a use for something. Because, you know, I mean, it's money down the drain. So yeah, there's that. It's hard. And as supplies get more and more expensive, because, you know, as we grow as artists, we use better supplies typically, or at least I have a little bit, because now I know better, and now I can not that I can just throw money at supplies, because, like, let's be honest, I cannot, because nobody's buying my art, and I am an unpaid YouTuber right now, so there's that. Hey, like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video, and share. So, you know, it's not like I have all the money in the world to throw at supplies. I have a lot of supplies because I don't throw them away, even when I'm not doing that artwork anymore, or that type of art. I have tons of cheap bottles of paint in storage. I have boxes of stuff, but it's because art supplies are expensive, and they've always been expensive, and now that we have tariffs on stuff, it's becoming more expensive. So art is not a cheap hobby anymore. I mean, I don't know when it was a cheap hobby. I guess if you have the means, or if you know people or know where to get recycled supplies, like there are a couple places near me that has recycled supplies, which is really cool. So we will go there on occasion, but, you know, if there's something specific that I need, I will just go to the craft store, or I'll order it online, because I can't dig through all the stuff. Like, it's just exhausting. So, what was my point? I keep losing my train of thought. I'm sorry, y'all. It's close to the weekend. It's been a little bumpy this week for me, and I just am spacing out. So what I did before was with the, let's back up and punt. The little tubes, I use the glitter glue on top of paint, because, like, that's really cool, because then it shimmers. So without it being ugly or gaudy was the term I was looking for. These right here are really cool. These are temper paint sticks. They dry very fast, and they're great. Like, they blend together really well. You can add water to them and make a big old muddy mess like I do at the end here. So just pay attention and watch for that. But they're really great for making papers and stuff. You can draw big flowers and fill them in and blend them together with the white, or just your finger or a wet brush. They, like I said, they do dry really fast, which is nice. So if you have little kids, these are great on, like, a car trip or something, because they're no mess, and, you know, it dries fast. So it's not like it's hard. It's like a glue stick of color, essentially. So it's really cool. So here I'm going to add some water, and on, like, if I used better paper, this would have worked a lot better. And had I not put that dark purple in the middle, it would have looked really pretty. But that's not what I did. So that's just where we're at. Making a mess. But see, I mean, it's not terrible. Ish. Could be worse, I guess. Yeah, so now I'm making a muddy mess in my little sunshine corner right there. Initially, it was like, ooh, I'll just make this sun. And then it was like, no. And then I'm adding purple to the middle. I was like, what in the world? It's a great messy piece of fun, isn't it? It's lovely. And they dry up pretty quickly. Like, if you add water to it, it dries kind of crunchy. These are like these cool crayons that they're like little broken bits of crayons all rolled into one. I am incredibly hard on my crayons, so most of these are broken. If I haven't broken them, then I haven't used them. But they do come out pretty cool if you color. See, all those different colors are coming out from that one crayon. So, and I think the green and the yellow ones, I think, are probably my favorite. The yellow one is broken all to bits. just because of the colors that are mixed in it.
Like, and you just spin the crayon as you color. Anyway, that can be really cool. That can be a really cool way to get some papers as well. Crayons. I think that's it. I think that's all I have for today. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I hope y'all learned something and will try to make some papers of your own to craft with or to collage with, or just make some paper and let your kids cut it up or whatever. Whatever floats your boat. It's awesome to do. And I hope that you guys have a great weekend. And until next time, friends, keep making beautiful things and putting them out in the world. Hit that subscribe button and that like button because I appreciate that. And so until next week, I will see you later. Bye!